of the story, we are shown the time of 1946, where a family used to live in a house on the shore of the sea. There was a couple and their daughter in that family. Now, when that family was sleeping at night, then some sounds came from their water tank. The husband goes out inside the tank to lift to see what is there. When he goes inside, he did get nothing. When he comes out, he pulls him towards something, pulls him towards himself. After that, the man did not know where he went. Now the story goes a little further. We see a couple, Ben and wife, used to sell animals together. His daughter also helps him in his work. There were many types of animals in that shop which they used to sell. When they close their shop, an old man comes to Ben, who tells that I am a lawyer and I have come to tell you about your mother. Ben's wife hears and says Ben's mother died a few months ago. On which he says, I know that, but I have come to talk to you about them. Ben, there are some secrets of your family that I want to tell you today. Maybe your mother never told you about these things. Ben and his wife were surprised to hear this and asked him what was the secret. The lawyer here tells Ben about an old house of his parents and says that you are the last owner of that house. Whatever you can, he also gives the keys of that house which was on the shore. Now Ben also asks the lawyer about his dad. He says that my dad died in an accident. The lawyer says no. Your dad and sister disappear from somewhere around the same house, who have not been found till date. Your mom lied to you. Here we come to know that the scene we saw in the beginning of the story was Ben's family. Ben dad gone to some tank where he went and disappeared, who had not been found yet. The lawyer also shows a newspaper to Ben, in which the news of Ben's dad's disappearance was published. Ben understood that his mom had lied to him. Ben was now ready to take his family to that house. He wanted to go and see if the place is worth living or not. The next morning, Ben leaves with his family. When they start going through the jungle, they see a fallen tree there. They started walking ahead by parking their car there. When they reach there, they come to know that the house has become very old, which was hidden in the plants that looked lovely. Ben goes near the house and sees someone has closed it with wood. Ben now picks up all the wood and opens the door of the house. Everyone was surprised to go inside because the house was very big. Ben also gets his mom's old picture there, and the lawyer who was saying that he was convinced that all the things were true. Ben's wife opens the back door of the house where there was a beautiful view. Now Ben's wife calls everyone. He sees that there is a water tank there. Ben's wife asks about the tank. He tells that such tanks are often made by old people in their rooms, and whenever it rained they used to secure the water. They used a pipe of about 100 feet so that the water could go all over the house. Ben tells his wife, I'll go inside to see what I will start the water again. When he goes inside, he finds out the whole tank is completely dry and he will have to repair. He also finds a fallen oil can in the tank. He comes out with it. Now all these things started living in this house. Now Ben's wife was clearing the house. He gets his sister's old picture. He also gets some papers in which it was written that Ben's sister and his dad died due to drowning, which moms never told him. Now his wife tells Ben about this. Both of them were sitting and talking. Then suddenly someone's voice from outside. Both of them first feel that there is someone outside. But Ben tells his wife that maybe the door must have sounded like this from outside. Now both of them start laughing. Then his daughter comes to him. Ben tells his daughter to go and sleep, but she was not sleepy. Now his mom takes him with her. After telling the story for a while, she left him in the room and come back to Ben. We can see the view outside. There was smoke everywhere and strange drowning sounds were coming. Now Ben's wife comes to her room and sits on the bed with her mom's diary. Now which they both start reading together, in which Ben's mom wrote, we came to this house for the first time where we wanted to live happily. My husband called a man and got a water tank made in his house which was very deep. Every day someone used to send a letter to my house if someone was warning them to leave this house. But one day my husband went to the water tank and never came back. One day my daughter also disappeared. I don't know where they both went. I looked for them a lot but I couldn't find them. That's why I left this house. Ben is very sad to hear all this. He thinks that why didn't my mom tell me all about this? And where can my dad disappear like this? On the other hand, his daughter was there in his room, feels like someone is walking on her roof. Later, he feels something under her bed, but there was no one below. That's why she hears some drowning sounds from inside the floor, which scared her. She felt someone was walking under the ground. She goes to her mom and dad and says, "There is someone in my room. You can see and check." When both of them when they didn't see anyone. When Ben goes out and sees the door was open and the lid of the water tank was also open, which was closed by Ben. His wife who was inside was roaming around with a lantern. She also doesn't find anyone inside. The next morning when Ben's wife get up, she didn't find Ben. She was looking for him. She found out that Ben is fixing the generator outside. When she goes to Ben, he said, "Now we can get light. Now our fridge will also start working. After that, I will go and see the tank now." When he goes back to the tank, there was a gear there which was running and water was coming. As it goes deeper into the tank, we found a strange animal whose teeth was big and whole body was black. It looked very yellow and wet. Ben took it out of the tank so that he could show the strange animal to his wife. But when his wife saw the animal and said, "This is a strange kind of animal which might live in the water." When the tank dried up, anyways, they both threw that animal. Outside, the dog was standing, which was barking loudly near the tank. When his daughter goes sees, he removes the lid of the tank. He saw a strange thing floating in the water, which scared her and started screaming loudly. When Ben and his wife go to their daughter, his dad says, "I saw something in the water." Ben says, "No, son, nothing like that." "Why are you scared? You must have seen a fish." Then the lady comes to their house, whom the lawyer had sent. She wanted to know if Ben and his family wanted to live in this house or sell it. When the lady talks to Ben, she gives, "Give me some time to think. We like this house. Maybe we can live here." The lady says, "We have to tell them about this soon," she said and left. Now she was going to her car, which was little far from Ben's house. Her car could not start and she was hearing strange noises. When she goes out to fix her car, a strange thing comes out of the bushes and attacks her. First, she does not understand anything, that who attacked her. Later, that thing dragged her and took her to the bushes. We can only hear the voices of that lady, and later the voice of this lady was heard by Ben's wife while sleeping. And now when she comes out to check, she sees a strange creature on her window. She was scared to see it and started screaming loudly. After hearing her voice, Ben also comes here. She says to him, "Ben, I have seen something here." When Ben goes and checks, there was no one. The next day, Ben starts his generator again. And then he starts drinking water from this sink. He sees there is no water coming. He goes to the tank to check, where no water was coming in their tap. When he goes inside, there was something stuck in the pipe. There was a stick stuck into it. He pulls that stick out. It was a locket on it. He sees a dead rabbit in the water. But who had brought out? He shows it to his wife. He says, "Look, I have found something." He was showing his wife the same thing. When he found out, he sees that's a locket. "I think I know about it. Who is this?" He shows the picture of her sisters. He says, "Her locket is your sister's." She started to feel that something is wrong here. As soon as his dad and his sister disappeared, he says to his wife, "Take care of our daughter. I go to the gas station nearby and call the police. I think there is some problem here." Now we had left with his car. Now his wife was alone in his house with his daughter. When Ben was going, he saw the lady's car on the way who had come to their house. He stops and looks at the car on which there was blood. Now he goes a little further. He sees the lady's dead body, which was eaten by that creature in a very scary way. There were pieces of his dead body there. When Ben sees this, his condition also deteriorated. He quickly goes to his car and asks for help on the radio. Now he was convinced that nothing was right here. There, Ben's wife was alone with her daughter. That's why he hears voices. When he goes to see, she finds someone footprints. Seeing this, she understood that someone has come to the house. That's why she picks up a knife for her safety. Now she gets to the diary in her room in which it was written that creature lives here. They killed my husband and my daughter, because of which I left this house. We came to know that the man we saw in the beginning of the story who went inside the tank, he was Ben's dad, and at that time the creature has pulled him into the water. But somehow Ben's wife caught him and locked him up. Now she quickly goes to her daughter. Ben also came there. He tells Ben about her mom's diary and creatures. Ben has been attacked by creatures who lives in the tank. We have to get out of here soon. They can come again. Ben tells his wife to pack her luggage quickly. I am bringing the car. A police officer has also reached the same place where the lady's car was standing, because the car officer had heard Ben's voice on the radio. But when he stops the car, there was a creature in front of the police officer who attacks him. It looked very strange. He pulls him away like a snake and eats him. Now when Ben comes to that place to get his car, Ben also sees the police officer's car. They are seeing this. He was very scared. He comes back to his house. Now he tells his wife everything. His wife says, Ben, I didn't believe these things first, but now I do. Creatures live here. We have to get out of here soon. He says we will go. Creatures live in water tanks. Ben went inside the tank to kill those creatures so that he could burn all the creatures. It was very dark in the tank. There he finds the corpse of the police officer that was killed by the creature who bought here. There a creature had attacked Ben. Ben also fight those creatures and somehow comes out of his life, but he was badly injured. On the other side, a creature also reaches her daughter. He was going to break the door, but Ben pulls daughter. Ben tries save. The creature has taken her daughter in the tank. Now when she comes near the tank, she also sees Ben there, who was very injured. She says to Ben, don't worry, I will definitely save my daughter. Saying this, she went into the tank and she had a torch in her hand. She goes to the tank and burns that torch. There were a lot of creatures around her. She first attacks them with a rod, then she pulls a lot of soil and attacks those creatures, with which those creatures get away with her. She also saved her daughter, but somehow brings her out of the tank and tells her daughter to go in the car. Now she can also save Ben. Now she also had given support to Ben to get him into the car. When she reaches there, a creature was sitting in his car who wanted to eat Ben, but somehow she distracts him and makes Ben sit in the car, and she starts driving the car, but another creature was behind her which Ben killed with a gun. Actually, she shot the gun from the police officer's pocket. After that, 3 of them left from there. Their life was saved. When she reaches the city, she sold that house. She had understood that why Ben's mom had not told her about that house. She did not want to put her life's risk. After this, a scene is shown after some time. Her house was bought by a mining company where many workers were working. Now they open the lid of the tank there. They say they will have to break this tank. Then some creatures come and attack them and kill them. It means that those creatures were still there, and God knows how many people will be harmed. The tank was a house of those creatures. With this, the story ends here. Thank you so much.